Hello and welcome, guys. We are joined today by John Cooper. You're about to get hot dipped. How you doing, John?
Good, thank you.
So, John, you drive trucks. How long have you been driving trucks for us here?
May 31st, 2000, so 26 years.
Wow, I knew the exact date. So, what did you do before that? What led you to this path?
I drove a truck over the road, and then one of the drivers was going to leave. They kept telling me that. It took 6 months to get the job here.
Wow.
I had to wait for that driver to quit because they only had 3 trucks at the time. And then, they had 3 trucks and 10 trailers. I had to wait till that driver quit, if he was going to quit, to get the job. So it took 6 months to get hired.
Wow. So, what's it like driving over the road? I imagine that's got to be some challenges with that.
It's nerve-wracking compared to, you got inner city driving, you got to deal with all the traffic, constructions you don't know about, which everything now is GPS, which I don't use. But it's just timing, trying to make your times when you don't have a sleep pattern. It's very nothing. You have no schedule. It's you're up one day, you might be sleeping on day shift. Next time you're on night shift, it changes all the time.
It's got to be challenging to get enough sleep that way. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep during the day very well.
Well, if you pull a reefer, you don't have a problem sleeping. You can sleep whenever.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So, did you go on like repeat runs, the same places over and over again, or was it just random? You go everywhere?
Well, we pulled reefer, so I was all over the United States.
Wow.
Pulling meat, pot pies, some produce, which I didn't try to stay away from, but maybe stuff you buy over the counter.
Nice. So, what was your favorite destination? Like, were there any cool places you got to visit that way?
Oh yeah, going through the Rocky Mountains in the summertime, running up through Snoqualmie, up in Seattle, up along Oregon 84, and going through for upstate New York through Vermont, and New Hampshire and Maine in the fall of the year. Prettiest part of the country you'll see.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, especially in the fall of the year. If you get off the interstate and get on the 2-lane roads, it's just gorgeous. And then you see in your old colonial homes, and then the southeast. Nice driving through the Carolinas, getting down through that part of the country, Tennessee, Kentucky. It's always pretty nice part of the country to drive through. This certainly your big cities. No, New York City. I don't really care to ever. I don't even want to go there on vacation. Much less after driving there. I'm not interested in going there on vacation at all.
I've always been amazed. I've always held truck drivers in high regard. But I keep thinking about what you have to deal with to drive that big 18-wheeler through a big city when the other drivers aren't exactly courteous, and you got to try to be safe, not just for yourself but everybody else. Can you talk about that a moment? How challenging is that?
You got to watch what you're doing, stay with the flow of traffic, and somebody's going to cut you off. And if you're in a city driving, you're going to get cut off. But pay attention to what the car is doing, because they're speeding up on you. They're going to cut you off. They're going to keep going. Problem is, if they don't see that car sitting over to the right, they're trying to go there. That's when your wreck starts. Yeah. I've had it happen downtown. Guy cut off me, a freight hauler, was trying to get on 29, cut both of us off. He didn't make the turn. He caught the Jersey barrier, totaled his truck right there. And we just kept on going down the road.
Wow.
So I've been hit once, 2 times. 1, 2. Yeah, I've been hit 2 times head on. 1 head on. That was up in Richmond. That's probably the scariest I've ever been.
I imagine so.
Yeah, the lady come off the exit ramp, made a going eastbound, turned left, wasn't going west, and hit me in the right front corner when I slid off in the ditch with a loader pipe on.
Wow. I don't know if you have an estimate for this. How many miles would you say you've probably driven in a big truck?
Probably pushing 3 million.
Wow. So think about it. I mean,
probably over 2 million miles here.
Wow. And any accidents are a bad thing, but we want to have 0, of course. But when you think about your safety record with that many millions of miles driven, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I pray had an animal once. I'd say probably my accident ratio of all the wrecks I've been in, less than $50,000 in 30-some odd years I've been driving.
Wow, that's amazing.
Damage to the company's vehicle, not the other person.
Right.
Because both the other vehicles, the ones in Kansas City that hit me, the one in Lexington hit me, it totaled both their vehicles.
Right.
And the one in the city, though, he come off the exit ramp, didn't even yield, just drove straight in the side of the trailer. No damage to our equipment, but it totaled his car.
Wow.
And he's just coming off the exit ramp, but the car is plastic. It's a Hyundai Elantra. They're all made of plastic.
That's right. And I bet close calls, though. I bet there's been a handful of those.
Oh, yeah. That's on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Somebody cutting you off. That's just part of you deal with that.
Yeah.
There's no getting out of that.
And many of our drivers go different places, most days. You've kind of adopted the Kansas City market for us. Can you talk about how that came to be, and do you like serving the Kansas City market?
Yeah, that started back in 2000. I started here. taking care of the Atlas Systems, which is a helical company, which was later bought out, I want to say '04 by Hubble,
Hmm.
and they closed them down. Well, then ECP had started, but they were like 1 day, 2 day we'd go there, and now we're having 2 trucks, and it's probably going to end up turning into a daily basis. We're going to have 3 to 4 trucks. They're getting ready to do a large expansion here in the future. But I take care of their side of the account, which is 2 different companies, even though everybody says one company, it's actually 2 different companies. You got your utility, you have your civil side, and the parts have to be separated. So it takes a long time, and our guys there don't know the material.
And you do a tremendous job talking about Earth Contact products. A tremendous job taking care of them. They're so proud of the job you do for them. You take really good care of them, and that's a good company though. That's a good family, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
really enjoy working with them.
Oh, yeah. Brad, John Michael, and Bryce is now the son's in there. Bryce is in there now, which is John Michael's son. Abby Mitchell's there, which is Brad's son. And I think they're going to have maybe one of the other kids might be coming on too here in the future.
That's exciting, and we know we deal with their galvanized stuff. But in addition to all the steel products they do for galvanizing, they do some barbecue grills, don't they?
Yeah, American Barbecue Systems, yes. And that's a totally different thing. And they do a lot of competition with that. And I don't get into that too much, but yeah, and I actually have one of their barbecue systems.
How does it work?
It works good.
That's awesome.
They're expensive though.
Yeah, sometimes you get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah.
So, what's it like driving in the Kansas City area with the World Cup being in town? Has that impacted you at all?
Well, they had a game up there yesterday. It didn't bother us none. Traffic's heavier. Noticed a big influx of traffic once everybody came in. With Argentina being in Kansas City, it's a lot heavier because he scored 2 points. Leon did yesterday, which he broke the record again for having the most points in a World Series or World Cup. And they played at Kaufman, and it went nuts.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but the traffic downtown, because all the influx of everybody at the hotels, it's been a nightmare. Yeah, they estimate between 650 and 1 million people.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and plus you have an Argentina there makes it even more traffic. They're going to come see them. So when you have, what is it they said? It's the most watched sport in the world at 1.4 billion people.
That's insane.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought football for us was the big thing, but this World Cup thing's a lot bigger deal, which I don't know anything about soccer.
And I think it's Scotland that might be based out of Boston for
Yes.
the event. And did you hear they ran out of beer in Boston?
Yes,
Or
yes.
even on the plane in?
The cool thing, I think, the Snapchat, they had a guy, he was playing the bagpipe, sitting on a motorcycle cop's car, and had his lights on. He was playing the bagpipe. That was pretty chilling to watch. It was pretty good.
That is cool. And you know, this year is the 250th birthday for our nation.
Mhm.
And I think it's kind of cool to see these folks coming from Europe and other places that maybe had heard some things that weren't exactly flattering about our country, but most of the reactions have been extremely positive. They love it here.
Yeah, what I've heard, they were really surprised negativity their country put on the United States about the history of the United States and how the people are, and they were just completely opposite of what the country was telling them, what they grew up with, how the people actually are.
Yeah.
That kind of shocked them.
It's kind of cool to see them see food at a Texas Roadhouse or something like that for the first time, or the serving sizes and
I think,
the free refills and
what they were talking about in Kansas City with Cane's chicken.
mhm.
They love the Texas toast and the seasoning. And then the only thing they didn't like was the high beer prices at the Kaufman. That's like, welcome to the United States.
No kidding, man. So it's about to be the 4th of July. How does John Cooper like to celebrate the 4th of July?
I'm doing absolutely nothing.
And that's the way you like it?
Yes. We might
Nice.
barbecue. I think we're going to do smoke a brisket, or maybe a pulled pork. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not planning on doing a whole lot.
Well, you work so hard, it probably feels good to get a little break.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be with this big job we got going on in Texas right now. I got 3 days scheduled in August to take off, and that's probably all I'll be taking off this year, other than 1 or 2 days if I got some medical stuff I got to do or whatever. But yeah, there won't be much vacation taken off right now.
Darn it, man. Well, make sure you enjoy yourself along the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 3 days away is enough because you get far enough behind that you've got a lot of headaches to catch up on.
Yep. And for those that don't know, I mean, when we say John Cooper takes care of the Kansas City market, it is not simply hook onto a trailer, deliver a trailer, and bring the other trailer home. No, you're separating orders. You're checking quality for the galvanized product. You do a lot, don't you, to take care of those customers?
Oh, yeah. Just on the ECP side alone, I got to do the certifications, the inventory, separate the product out that I got to have back for both sides of what they want to ship out the next day. Because a lot of times, the time we get the product, it has to get ran. The truck will be sitting there or coming in right behind us It gets offloaded on us. It gets put on a truck and it's shipping out. It used to be they ship maybe 1 truck a day. Now it's 4 to 5 trucks a day. We're fighting to get there in time to beat the trucks there, so we ain't sitting in the street waiting on them. They'll have to come out and take it off us to put it on that truck to get it out of the driveway. But then we got other trucks that go up there. Like, I've been here 26 years, and this is the first time in 26 years that we've had to have 4 to 5 trucks a day in Kansas City. We've never done that.
No, usually it was 1 or 2.
Yes,
back in the
2
day,
is
that was a lot.
Yeah. Now it's, I mean, Monday we had 4 up there. I needed 5 up there today. I didn't need 5 today. There'll be 5 up here tomorrow.
Wow.
1, 2. Yeah, we had 5 up there on Monday.
That's incredible. How have the power units changed over time? Like, I know they went through the regulation period with the DEF, and then there's the couple we have with the cat motors, and then you've got the new ones that deal with the DEF. And do you have a preference, or which vehicles do you like to drive?
I like the cats better. They run smoother. I went to the new truck because didn't want to be on the road, and they wanted me on the road with the sleeper truck. I'm like, no, I'll take a day cab. I wish I kept my cat.
Yeah.
But this one's actually working out all right. We got that new truck that came back. It's actually, I found that up in Nebraska where it's called an assembled truck, which actually went back to the cat.
Nice.
And this emission thing is all government. It just totally took a 1.2 to 1.1. Well, I'll take an example. Our 07s all ran over 1 million miles. 1.1, 1.2, they're all still on the road here at the company. Now, we overhauled the motors, but they're still running on the road. The one truck we set up in Nebraska for emissions, 550,000 miles on it, jerked the emission motor out, put a cat back in it. Because the motor, so you take that truck, you put a cat back in it for, I think it was $112,000. Because we had the truck already. We didn't have to go buy a chassis or buy a truck. Then you take that emission truck, 500,000 miles, good luck. Mm-hmm. And it's going to cost you anywhere from the turbo through the particulate filter, $30,000 to replace all that. And they're just going to throw sensors at it and tell you, well, we don't have the part. We still don't know what's wrong with it.
Right.
It's just too many sensors, and the government just screwed it all up. I mean, anytime you take dirty exhaust off your turbo, run it through an EGR cooler, through the intercooler, and put it back on top of your head, you're washing your liners down. You're just running your motor. I mean, the whole design of this for this clean air is BS. Well, I'm going to call it like it is.
Right. Because
they actually went back to this. They said the motors wouldn't pass emissions. They do pass emissions on the older motors. They just didn't want them out there because they got such a longevity.
Yeah. Yeah, over 1 million miles, that's a lot.
Well, 1 million miles, but your cost of operation drops so dramatically.
Right.
Compared to the new ones. Your cost of operations on these new ones, I'd hate to sit down. I bet it'd be double, if not at least be double what your non-emission trucks are.
And you lose some horsepower, don't you, with the emission stuff?
Yeah, you have to have a higher horsepower because of the emissions.
Yeah.
Or change your gear ratio, like the one I'm driving now, 370 tall rubber, 18 speed. It'll actually outpull a bigger horsepower motor from the stoplight with 355 slow profile pipes on a 13 speed because of the gear ratio.
Gotcha.
Just because the way the gear ratio is different on them.
Yeah. Now, down on one of the trailers on the lot, I was driving through there. There's one of those motors sitting on the truck. Is that the one that came out of that truck you're talking about in Nebraska?
That's the core motor we're going to sell.
Okay.
We get to keep the motor.
Yep.
They don't want it. We'll sell it. We're going to sell it. I don't know where they're going to sell it at, but it'd be a core. We'll get $7,500, $10,000 out of it, maybe a little more than that.
Nice. Well,
I think it's still a running motor.
Right. Well, switching gears for a second. So I don't know how many people know this about you, but you're a twin, right?
Yes.
What's it like growing up and living as a twin? Identical twin. Sorry, yeah.
Well, your parents dress you in the same clothes all the time. Well, then nobody can tell you apart. I still, to this day, I'm 54 years old, I still have people, if I'd be going to Malta, Ben, or Marshall, a farmer come up to me and ask, thinking I'm Ray, and ask me, hey, about this tractor, this. I said, I'm John. And that's to this day.
Yeah.
And it's, you sense stuff that the other one doesn't. Now, a twin will tell you this. They can sense different things between each other and never have to say nothing. And wow. I've talked to other twins that have the same deal.
That's true, huh? I saw something about that on that Adam Sandler movie. There was yep.
And they've done studies on it. Where
Wow.
they'll start talking, or they can sense stuff between the two, or if something's wrong with the one, the other one will sense it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I was always worried about the dating situation. Like, any women ever mistake you for another one when you were growing up?
Yes, I got a black eye of that deal.
Oh boy, that's not good.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Nice. But you're both handy people and you're both into big equipment, right? I mean,
Yeah, he's a mechanic on John Deere International stuff. He runs his own business now.
that's impressive. So did you both grow up working on that kind of stuff or in driving big equipment, or what got you into that
Yeah,
stuff?
we both grew up working on a farm.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's well, yeah, you've run on a farm equipment, so you pretty much know how to work on it or run it. So
And did you all play sports when you're coming through high school here?
track.
Track.
Yeah,
You guys were good, weren't you?
we went to state '89 and went to state 2 years running, one state 2 years back to
What
back.
events would you do?
800 relay, 800, 800.
Would your brother do that too?
I don't remember what he ran. I don't think he was in track. He wasn't in sports, just me. Oh, maybe he was. I don't remember. It's been too long ago. You're talking, that's a long time ago. That's 30 some odd years ago, 26 years. 26, 36 years ago. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
I'm going to bring up kind of a difficult topic now that, but I've really felt bad, and we've had Jay Thompson here to talk about Joe, and he was getting so close to retirement, he didn't make it. But do you have any good Joe stories you like, or anything you'd like people to know about Joe? Remember Joe?
You couldn't get him in a hurry. He was just slow, staying speed all the time, no matter what, and you weren't going to speed him up. I mean, he was the same speed all the time.
He was.
Yes, good guy.
Yeah.
Because he was actually the one I talked to, because I never pulled flatbed. I always pulled reefer, and I didn't know anything about flatbedding. He's the one I called before I decided to take the job, how hard was it, because I didn't have any experience pulling flatbed. And he just talked me through it, told me it's not bad, you just got to make sure you keep an eye on everything, which he was right on that. But yeah, we're not going to get him in no hurry. I mean, I never seen him get in a hurry to go anywhere.
That's right. That's right. But man, he was dependable. Just like you said, a really good dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We miss him. And what about some of the other old timers that are still around? Like, do you ever run into Bill Forbes or Ronnie Thompson or anybody like that? Or
Bill Forbes, I see him in town every now and then. I haven't got to talk to him. He just went in the hospital.
is that right?
Yeah,
Is he okay?
I don't know. I haven't heard. He fell between the bed and the wall of his house, and Jared and them had to take him to the hospital. He had,
It's unfortunate.
I think they said an infection and a fever.
Man.
Or something. They were checking on him. Jaundice was the other thing. So I don't know. And then Ronnie, I see at his house. I wave at him. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah,
That's the only other drivers we got left, because ain't nobody else left.
that's right.
Joe was the last one we lost. Bill retired. Well, David Thompson got cancer.
That's right. David.
David Thompson got cancer. Yeah, Bill and Joe and me were the first.
So that would make you the longest tenured driver right now, right?
Here, I don't know about Joe down there at.
Joe Jokic, yeah.
He's been there a long time.
Because he's done every job. He worked in a galvanizing plant. When Dad bought that place, he was already working at Universal. So
Yeah.
I mean, Dad bought it in '99, but he was already there. So I don't know. I'd have to talk to Joe, and he'd be a nice podcast to have. See how long he's been with the company.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I think he's been there. Well, he's been there from day one when they bought it. Then
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get too worked up either. I mean, in my experience, I
No.
don't know him as well as you do, probably. But
I don't know him that well. I've not talked to him a few times. Like I said, I don't go down there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
you're always going the other direction.
that way.
That's right, west every day. And you typically get out here pretty early in the morning, don't
Yeah.
you? Get back early. Is that strategic to avoid traffic, or just what time you
I got to
raise?
come in and load the trucks in the morning, because I got to separate the trailers out. And plus, I need to be there between 10:30 to beat the other trucks there, so I can get it out of the driveway and go on.
So what time are you going to work each morning? What time do you usually clock out? How long of a day is it?
10 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes a little early if everything works out. You don't have any problems. A little earlier, sometimes later. Just it fluctuates all the time.
I know there's a lot of new technology that helps you keep track of it all the time. Now, is it hard to comply with all the DOT regs? Is that a challenge or?
No. Well, the e-logs quit working. I just went to paper and just went on about my business. I
Yeah.
don't care about that e-log.
Right.
And when that one job we're doing now, I got paperwork in the truck. It doesn't matter anyway, because we got Homeland Security paperwork, so I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, how about that? So yeah, that's an important project, isn't it?
Yeah. We got another 32 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I already got 2 loads there for this week. And after today or tonight, I'll have another load for next week. I'll have one more load to do for the next week, and we'll have to wait on pipe. So that shop, yeah, another 32 weeks as of right now that I know of. and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon.
Well, if the folks at ECP are watching, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Let me know how big this expansion is going to be so I can figure out what we're going to do here because I need help.
If you're at 4 or 5 trucks a day, it might be more than that one day, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, but their expansion, the big expansion they did back in COVID, it was a struggle for us to keep up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. I already asked them how much of a more expansion you're going to do because we're going to have to make some arrangements here.
That's right, because we're already really busy.
Yeah, we're already busy here taking on all the extra helical we took on. Like, we can't. They have another big expansion like they did over COVID. We won't have the capacity to keep up. We'll have to do something here on our end to make sure we get their stuff done.
Need to be working proactively with the team there on that. Yep.
Yeah. I already reached out to them and asked about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for always taking the initiative on that.
Mm.
So what about your fellow drivers, the other MidFleet team members, whether they're based in Glasgow or Indiana, Tennessee, whatever? What would you say to those folks? Maybe if they're just getting started, I know we've got some new drivers. What's your advice?
If you have a question, ask. Don't hesitate to ask. It's a lot easier to ask than to make a mistake.
100%.
Yeah. And then I forgot to tell one of them. I can't remember which driver it was. Told him to go to Kansas City, but I didn't say there's 3. When you try, they use GPS. I don't use GPS. Well, there's 3 Kansas City. You got Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri. You have North Kansas City. And I had one of the drivers going to North Kansas City, so he puts the address. Well, the address is the same as 9th Street and 9th Street.
Ooh, that's confusing.
He ended up in front of the Kansas City Police Department, Kansas City, Missouri.
Wanted to make a delivery.
And he's calling me, so I'm in front of the police department. This ain't not where I'm supposed to be. No, you're supposed to be in North Kansas City. Well, they're telling me I got to move. I said, yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, I'd listen to him.
Yeah, that cracked me up on that one. That was funny.
Well, I know your time is short, so we'll wrap it up, but we'll get you back on here again sometime. Thank you very much, John Cooper, for everything you do. You've been hot dipped.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Thank you for watching Hot Dipped. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell for future episodes.